I understand why some of you guys are using high pH cleansers to balance your oil production, but my issue with this approach is that if you're using a high pH cleanser, it's going to be disrupting and damaging your skin barrier way more. And that in itself may be keeping you in a cycle of breaking out. There's other ways to help control excess oil production if you're super oily. Credentials are that when I was a teenager, I used to be really oily. I used to carry around these oil blotting sheets from Clean and Clear just to dab. First thing I would consider in my routine is some salicylic acid. And the reason I really like salicylic acid is because it's oil soluble. Not only does that mean that oil solubility will allow it to dissolve oil in your pores, but that also makes it really great for controlling excess oil production. I talk about this one a lot because this was the first chemical exfoliant that really sold me on chemical exfoliation. Another ingredient that could be helpful is niacinamide. Niacinamide is so controversial in the skincare space right now. When people break out, they often will say that the reason is niacinamide. There could be so many reasons that we break out: having a damaged skin barrier, using too many actives, just misusing our topicals. Allergy rate for niacinamide is actually really low, so I actually don't think that people are as sensitive or as allergic to it as they may think. But that might be a conversation for another day because I know that's a very controversial take. If you have really oily skin, then using a lighter moisturizer and sunscreen is really important, especially if you're acne prone. This is the type of moisturizer that I would suggest using. It's more of a gel cream texture, so it's really light. It hydrates, but it doesn't feel too heavy. Moisturizer is still really important if you're oily. I would not skip this step. Perfectly normal skin is 50% oil, 50% water. When you're oily, that balance is thrown off, and it means that you have more oil production and less water. If you look at the first ingredient of these type of moisturizers, the first ingredient usually is water. What moisturizer is, it's largely water, but then it has other skin benefiting ingredients like antioxidants, soothing agents, anti-inflammatory properties, or things to help with acne. So if you think about that, then introducing water to the skin when you have excess oil production will help to kind of balance everything out a little bit more. Similarly for sunscreen, I think you naturally want something that's a little bit lighter. When I think about oily skin, I think this is an SPF that comes to mind. It's not completely matte, but it also isn't very dewy either. It's not going to make you look super greasy. I think using a cleanser that cleanses well without stripping is really important for any skin type. This is a holy grail cleanser for me because I feel like it could work for any skin type, especially if you are oily. It does have a soft lather, but it's not so aggressive that it's stripping the skin. A lot of my oily skin clients use really stripping cleansers, and they don't realize that it's actually really dehydrating the skin, which is actually making their skin overcompensate by producing more oil. I'm always going to advocate for a gentle cleanser. But those are the tips I really wish I could tell my teenager self, so I really hope that they help you.